Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Celicia. I am 28 years old. I work full-time from home and I'm also a realtor. In today's video, we are going to talk about cash budgeting and how you can start on your journey. On my different platforms, I have gotten a lot of requests on tips on how to cash budget, how to get started, all that good stuff. So I figured I would go ahead and do a video for anyone who is curious and have not heard about it. I feel like it's so big that everyone knows what it is already, but yet there's still tons of people who have never seen or heard about cash stuffing. So today is the day we're going to talk about it a little bit more. But first, let's start off with our positive quote from I Am Enough. Let's see what we have today. And today, y'all, I remembered to put in my contacts so I can see clearly now, my contacts in. So our card today is, I am blessed with an incredible family and wonderful friends. Amen. I am so appreciative of my support system. Like, I have an amazing support system. I love my friends and my family. Thank God for them. So family and friends are hidden treasures. Seek them and enjoy their riches. I love that. I love that message. I thought the positive quote was going to be more so about self, but I like that it threw in there like friends and family. You definitely have to be appreciative of the ones that you have in your life while they're here. So I'm super glad for the people that, you know, God placed on this earth to be a part of my life, or for me to be a part of their life, all that good stuff. So cash budgeting. Just a little bit about me. I am still very new into cash stuffing. I've only been doing this for a little bit over 3 months now, consistently doing it for a little bit over 3 months now. I did dabble a little bit with it at the end of last year and just trying to, you know, go about it my own way. But it's the best decision I've ever made. I honestly love cash stuffing. It has been a game changer. I already can tell the difference in how I spend money, how my mindset has shifted, and how I've been thinking about purchases before I make them a lot better than previous. So it definitely is a great tool. When I first started, I started sharing it just slowly with some of my friends and family. As I seen them, I would let them know what I was getting into. And I cannot tell you how many times I got the question of, what is cash stuffing? What is that? What do you do? How do you, you know, start it? All that good stuff. So the first question, what is cash stuffing? So cash stuffing to me is just a way to give my money a job. It is a way for me to see where my finances are going and to control how I'm spending my money, so that I'm not just sitting here swiping. And now when I look at my bank statement, I'm looking like, where did my money go? No, I know where my money goes because I'm budgeting for those categories and spending only what is budgeted for those categories. So that is the what. Benefits of cash budgeting is going to be, for me, it's just that, for one, sense of control over my expenses. The second thing is just the emotional attachment that you will gain with cash budgeting. Again, out of sight, out of mind. I can swipe my card without even looking at my statement or looking online to see what's going on for a week or two, at least until it's pay time. You know, when the pay period comes back around, it's typically when most people start to look at their card again, or when bills is about to be due is when you're typically going to log in and check on, you know, how you've been doing with your finances. And that can be toxic because sometimes you're just swiping and, you know, you're thinking, okay, I just spent $10 here or $20 there or $50 there. And those little expenses turn into being your whole light bill, your car insurance, or sometimes even your rent if you are just too thoughtless. I don't even know if that's the word I want to use, but just too like mindlessly spending. So cash stuffing definitely just kind of helped out with me not doing the mindless swiping of things. Now, to go over how to start your own cash stuffing or your cash budgeting journey, you literally do not need much. You don't need much of anything at all. I've heard a lot of comments of, people not making enough money, or, they can't do it, or just different reasons of why they feel like it's not achievable for them. And honestly, I do feel like it is all off of, and y'all don't bash me in the comments. It's not how much you make. It's honestly how you determine how you spend it. I know that times is hard right now. Everything is super expensive: gas, food, rent, etc. So that may be the case in some households where I literally make enough just to take care of my living. But for a lot of people, that's not the case. A lot of people, it's a little bit of wiggle room where you can make something shake, and we don't. I know for myself, I used to have, when I was a preschool teacher, I didn't make a whole lot of money. I honestly didn't. But even with me not making a lot of money, there was still room to save. You just have to make it a priority. There was a quote that I was told, my fiance used to tell me this all the time. This is, again, I'm still new into my journey. I've only been correcting like my spending habits for a year now. As far as then getting a better handle on how I'm spending my money. And then I really cracked down when I started cash stuffing. But there is a quote, I'm going to say it wrong, but it's along the lines of, if you can't learn how to manage your money now when you have a little, how can you expect to learn how to manage your money when you have a lot? A lot of times people may feel like, right now it's hard to budget because you are in a pinch, or it's like a little bit of money. But honestly, it's a test of, when you get a lot of money, how can you, manage it? So step one of starting your cash budgeting journey is to make a budget, to make a realistic budget. So in order to make a realistic budget, a lot of recommendations, one that I followed was to go ahead and look at your previous statements. Take 3 months of statements and highlight different categories of what you typically would spend on eating out, groceries, your bills, and all these different things, so that you can kind of have an idea of what you've been spending and be able to make a realistic budget off of what is going to be necessary for you and your household. So I did write up a example of a budget. This is all just an example. It's an example. I really was just writing stuff just so you can get a grasp of what it would look like. But let's just say our monthly income is $3,000. This is what we have each and every month guaranteed going to come in from working our jobs. You want to start with your fixed expenses. So fixed expenses are going to be the things that don't change. You are going to have your rent, you're going to have your electricity, your internet, your car insurance, phone bill, and subscriptions. Those are going to be the same continuously. And then you want to figure out how much each one of those categories are to total up what you're going to be spending. So for this hypothetical budget, I said my portion of rent is $900, electric is $150, internet is $100, car insurance is $200, phone is $100, and subscriptions are $30. So that gives us a total of $1,480 that we spent on our fixed expenses. Now that we know what we need to subtract from our monthly income first, we can move on to our variable expenses. So variable expenses, this is money that your categories that may change month to month, but these are things that you would typically carry around with you as far as in your spending. So instead of swiping your card on groceries and swiping your card on eating out and, mindlessly swiping, you make a budget for what you're going to spend from the month. So let's just say we spend $300 on groceries, $150 on gas. Spending is $75, and eating out is $100. That means we're spending $625 a month on that. And that leaves us with a balance of $895 left over. Again, these are all this is just an example. So your categories may be different. Maybe you have childcare in here and not car insurance, or, the different categories. And maybe for your variable expenses, you would add in things like household or different categories. One of the biggest things about cash stuffing is it is very unique to the person who's doing it. Your top priority may not be my top priority, or my spending categories may not be your same spending categories. We may have different priorities on what we want to take care of, or what we have as far as in fixed expenses or variable expenses. So back to our leftovers. So now that we've figured out the top things that have to be taken care of, we have $895 left over. That is a lot to work with as far as in saving and building up. So now we can move on to our next things. Now, this is where it gets very personal for each person and like unique to your situation or your circumstance or how you want to do things. So some people may want their next priority from this amount to be, you know, debt, like paying off debt. And others may want to do things like sinking funds. So let's just say we went with the route of sinking funds. Sinking funds is going to be money that we want to stuff for a long term. It's like our long-term saving goals. Just think about all those moments where it's like, dang, I really would like to get myself a new pair of shoes, but I don't have it right now to get me a new pair of shoes. I wish I had saved up for it. Or I just had this, you know, emergency and I had to go to the hospital and now I have this bill to take care of. I wish I would have set money aside for that. It's just all those things that you would like to be able to take care of or want to have put away for a rainy day. So our made up categories would be things like emergency funds. So I feel like everyone should have an emergency fund of at least my personal, maybe unpopular opinion is $3,000. I know the basis of most channels will tell you $1,000, but life be lifing. I don't know about you, but for me personally, it's been going pretty smooth for a minute now, but previously it'll be, you know, one day is this and the next day is that, things hitting you back to back. I remember at one time, one of my dogs got sick and it was a $250 vet bill. And 2 weeks later, here it is, my other dog got sick and we're back at the vet and I'm like, what's going on? And then I had to get my alternator fixed on my car. So things just happen and they could, God forbid they happen to anybody like that. But, you know, they could happen and you never know how much those are going to be. So you want to make a cushion for your savings or your emergency funds. Maybe health is one of your sinking funds to make sure that you have money set aside for it, or beauty, kids. And everyone loves to save for Christmas, these two categories for Christmas. So just making sure that you set a budget. Over here, these are the amounts that I just wrote out for these. And let's just say we put $330 to the side for these. Obviously, it'll be more or less depending on what you determine you want to have in these categories. And that leaves us with $565 left over to now attack debt or savings challenges or however you want to put these. Let me just move this to the side. So again, when you're starting out, you don't need much. You honestly do not need much. When I first started, I started out with regular schmegler little envelopes, and you could literally just write on here your different categories that you wanted to have. Like you could put, you know, household. I hope the camera's not shaking. You could literally write household on here, or Christmas, or whatever suits for you to put into these little envelopes. Stuff your money in and go about your business. Sit these inside a drawer or folder or something like that, and you literally can buy you some envelopes for $1 at the Dollar Tree or Walmart or something like that, and keep it simple. Paper, pen, envelopes. Put your money in. And once you get to the place where you're comfortable and you would like to go ahead and start purchasing things, then there's a whole lot of different options and cute ways to go ahead and save your money. But honestly, starting out, you don't need much. That is the bare minimum. Envelopes, paper, and pen. So again, when I first started out with regular little envelopes. And then I moved on to buying things. So I just want to kind of zip back over to here. So when it comes to your fixed expenses, this is up to you as far as in how you want to do this. So some people like to pull their money out, their fixed expenses, off of each paycheck. So let's just say our fixed expenses is $1,480 a month. Some people would like to go ahead and break this down into 2 paychecks. So they would pull out $740 on one check and stuff it into these categories in their envelopes. And then on the second check, pull out the $740 and stuff that, so that by the time that the first rolls around, you can deposit all this money back into your account and have it withdrawn out when it's time to pay your bills. Me personally, I don't have a lot of these categories, but the bills that I do have, I don't personally choose to, for me, I'm not going to pull it out and then go place it back in the bank. I just leave these into a separate account, a bills account, solely that it just comes off of there. You don't need to swipe that card, touch that card, see that card. It's literally, this is solely for my bills to come out of, and I make sure the money is in here. Another thing that's good to have is a buffer in your account for just in case. And you decide what buffer works for you, whether that's $100, $300. You just have a buffer in there for just in case purposes. So if anything, that's personal if you would like to pull it out, or leave it on your card. If you feel like you are not physically responsible to keep it on your card and not swipe it, then I recommend putting it away into your envelopes. Now, if there's anything that you do pull in cash, you want it to be your variable expenses. So these are things that you would spend on a daily basis. So for me, when I first started, I actually purchased a wallet from Amazon. I'm gonna drop a picture in the video, and the link could be down below in the description, but I bought a regular like $20 wallet from Amazon. It was cute. It was super long. I won't lie. It was long, but it was super cute, and it came with already pre-made little envelopes in it, and it had stickers that you can put onto the envelopes for your categories of what you would be stuffing. And that's what I started with. But me being me, I was super like, I need something that's visually stimulating for me. Like I need that, I don't know, something that's just gonna make my eyes like sparkle. So I went to Baddies and Budgets and I purchased this wallet. So as far as my variable expenses that I carry around with me in my wallet are things like groceries. So what you'll do is you'll make your amount for that week or 2 weeks, however you get paid. If you get paid bi-weekly, then you'll put, your set amount in there and stuff it. And this is what I'm using solely for groceries. So you have your categories like groceries, household, gas, eating out, spending, miscellaneous. Simone's allowance is something that's personal to me. That's my 15-year-old little sister who lives with me. And giving. Those are my miscellaneous, or not miscellaneous, those are my variable expenses. And then when you move down to here, you have things like your sinking funds. Again, you can use regular envelopes, but when you get to the decision of purchasing something, you can go to Amazon, you can go to Etsy. There's a lot of different places that you can purchase your binders from. So for me and my sinking funds, I have a lot of binders. If y'all can see this back here, hopefully you can't. It's a lot. And I don't recommend starting out with a lot of binders. Honestly, you can keep it simple to 2 different binders and just focus on getting those stuffed over having a million different binders like I do. And then it's like, oh, I'm kind of split between which binders I'm going to stuff today or what I want to do. So I definitely recommend keeping it simple. So for me, my long-term saving goals are saving for my little sister, my 15-year-old little sister. My fiance, because he does so much for my household, is I want to. Myself, my anniversary, emergency funds. Again, get you an emergencies fund, get you a savings account, have that money for a rainy day. Life insurance, student loans. These are the things that's in my high priority binder. So those are the first things that I want to tackle. Then there's also things like low priority. So these are things that are not necessity, but things that I would like to save for. So like, ooh, I really want this. I wish I had to save for it. So for those for me are things like date night, family time, my dogs, which should be on my high priority, honestly. Beauty, artsy, birthdays, vacation, and Christmas, and clothes. So those are my low priority things that I would like to have, and I just save for those. And lastly is savings challenges. So again, everything is personal to the person. For me, I love savings challenges more than stuffing my high priority or my low priority binder, because I dedicate these to a certain cause. So let's just say this one right here is one of my savings challenges. It's a $50 savings challenge, and basically you would just save the amount of money that matches the number on the envelope. And once this is complete, I would have saved almost like $1,500. This is going towards my fiance's ring, his wedding band that I want to purchase for him. Or, you know, doing my 100 envelope savings challenge is something that I'm saving towards so that I can take care of student loans. I can go ahead and put this towards something like my student loans or towards a new car that I want. You make it to what works for your budget, what's going to help you stay motivated, what's going to help you stay on track. For me, savings challenges is what helps me stay motivated and on track, because I'm genuinely excited to complete these. So however it works for you. But the main things that you want to remember when starting your cash budgeting journey is, one, you need to make a budget. You have to make a budget to know what you're spending and where it's going. The next thing is you want to subtract your fixed expenses. So those are your bills that you want to go ahead and take care of next, onto your variable expenses. So that is money that you will spend on a regular day-to-day basis. And then what's left over is where you would go to your sinking funds, debt, and savings challenges. But that is all for this video. If I left anything out, because I'm a fast talker and sometimes I kind of get ahead of myself, but if I left anything out, definitely leave it in the comments below. If you have any questions or any video recommendations you would like for me to go ahead and record, definitely leave it down below. And that is all for this video, you guys. Bye.